Hello everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Star Watch, which is a weekly astrological transit report for Wednesday, December 28th. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm so grateful to have you all here with me. And if you're new, welcome. My name is Jane. So this week is kind of an interesting week as we have Mercury officially going retrograde tomorrow. He has been kind of creating a little bit of chaos. He definitely got his mischief in, that's what Mercury retrograde does. It gets the mischief, it gets the chaos going, and being in Capricorn, there has been no doubt that over the past couple of weeks that there has been a little bit of chaos with the weather, especially here in the Midwest, the United States. The weather was really out of control, and a lot of the travel throughout the holidays was really out of control. We had not only Mercury pre-shadow, but also Mars going retrograde still, but he is moving really, really slow right now because he is preparing to go direct on January 12th. So we have the slowing retrograde of Mars, we have the pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde, and then we also had Jupiter come into Aries as well. And of course, Aries being ruled by Mars is going retrograde. So there's all these just kind of weird connection things happening, creating a lot of challenge, creating a lot of frustration for a lot of people. Not everybody, but for a lot of people. I know that when I was traveling for the holiday in the Houston airport, I definitely saw my fair share of people standing in that customer service line. It was like hundreds of people standing in line for the customer service. So bit of a challenge, but it's coming to a close over the next couple of weeks. And as we make our way into the Happy New Year, everybody. Happy 2023. As we make our way into the new calendar year, it is going to be kind of a little bit of a slow start, I think, with Mercury kind of trying to get his speed, going retrograde, and Mars still going really, really slow. Even Uranus is starting to slow down as well because he's going to be going direct on the 22nd of January. So it's just going to be like one of those months where we can feel that things are turning around in some way, shape, or form, but there's not necessarily a lot of speed with that right now. Now, come the end of January, there definitely will be speed as we make our way into Aquarius season. We're going to feel the speed, and we're going to feel like really aligned if we want to, right? If we have an idea of where we want to go, we're going to have this quality of unstoppability. And that's all kind of starting now. So this week, the biggest thing to pay attention to is simply Mercury retrograde. We also have Venus involved here as well. As we can see, she's sitting at the 23rd degree. So she and Mercury have been together for, several days now. And she's going to be moving on, though, and making her way to contact with Pluto this week. Now, remember, and I've said this over and over, Pluto was the planet that she retrograded against at the beginning of 2022. So she's officially returning to this place in the zodiac where she hasn't been all year. She's officially returning back to this place. And I think what she's doing is she's putting a final nail in the coffin of any of the issues that we were having throughout 2022, especially if it was relationship issues. And those that can be romantic, but it doesn't have to be if you have a business partner or if you have any kind of, contractual agreement, like with a client or something. You're finishing that kind of stuff. If you have any financial stuff as well, I do think a lot of people have been going through massive financial transformation. They've been working a lot on their financial mind, right? North Node in Taurus, that's what it was here for. It was here to help us try to transform our relationship with the physical world, to change our relationship with possessions, to change our relationship with our sense of self-worth and our sense of self-value. And so as she comes into contact with Pluto, I think we're going to have to tap into ourselves a little bit this week and be like, look at how far I've come, and look at how ready I feel to invite more of these wonderful things in life. If you've been single for a while and you've been battling yourself, like, do I want a relationship? I don't know. Maybe I enjoy being single, but maybe I also kind of want to put myself out there again. Probably over the next couple of weeks, you're going to make a final decision with something and say, you know what, I either am ready, or you know what, I'm going to focus on this other thing. If you have an established connection and you have all year, if there were any problems that arose in January, February, or March of 2022, this is probably a time when you feel like the turning point and you feel like, okay, we made it through, we powered through, we fought together, we worked it out, and we can actually continue our life now, and we can build upon what we have learned about one another throughout this year. So I think, I think it's a great time to just kind of give yourself a big pat on the back and to give yourself a lot of love for what you've learned and for what you've, for what you've learned and how you've evolved and all of the things that are becoming better because of the hard stuff that you went through. And I do think we are going to see a massive uptick in our attitude with a lot of things, again, if we want to. Later on, Saturn comes into Pisces, and that's really iffy. Some people are going to have like the most pessimistic view that they've ever had in their entire life, and other people are going to be more optimistic than they've ever been in their entire life. There is going to be a massive divide through 2023, and it all depends on how you choose to perceive something. So if you're here watching astrology and watching tarot readings and watching spiritual guidance and psychological guidance and all that kind of stuff, chances are you're going to be at a place where you're going to be ready to take advantage of the astrological environment that 2023 is going to bring, and you're going to really, really enhance your station in life in a lot of ways. It's the pessimism, it's the pessimism that's going to really hold you down, okay? You have to kind of really tap into that hope as much as you can. And I think this is that week. Literally, this is the week with Venus, with Pluto, with the Mercury retrograde, where we have that turnaround of perception. All right, we start to see the advantages in things. We start to see, even though the footing, and I'm kind of envisioning the mountain goat sort of crawling up the mountain here, the footing can be really, really, really tricky. But if you have your footing, you have your footing, plain and simple. And if you have your footing, you can go to the next level. And so I think people are a lot more stable than maybe they're giving themselves credit for. They're a lot more prepared and a lot more ready than they give themselves credit for. So don't be afraid to make moves right now, especially as Mars is preparing to go direct in the next couple of weeks. The next 2 weeks, it's kind of like this little bubble. Mercury retrograde, Mars stationing, even Uranus stationing. Kind of like take that 2 weeks to really get yourself situated so that when you're choosing to act in Aquarius season, you get to officially launch. All right, because when all the planets are going direct by Aquarius season, we're going to be prepared to launch. So this is a great week to really consider things. We often, set your New Year's resolutions. Okay, fine. If you want to, I think it's actually a good idea. Probably more astrologically supported than it has been in the past to actually do New Year's resolutions, or maybe you can say cardinal season resolutions for Capricorn season. You can kind of set the tone for where it is you really want to go this year and plan or map out, because Gemini loves mapping, okay? Mars in Gemini loves to map things out. So you can actually map out what it is that needs to be done and what tasks need to be accomplished in order to get yourself there. People who are mucking around in chaos and they're not thinking things through, it's just probably going to get, a little bit frustrating because they're going to feel these urges to go do this great stuff, but then they're holding themselves back because they don't feel ready. So this is our time to get ready. And to get the foundational work done, get the paperwork done, get the money moved where it needs to go, get the investments placed, get the conversation going, whatever it is, get it going so that come February and March, when Pluto and Saturn transition, as those months come, you're not going to feel like you're trying to catch up, okay? Don't forget, we have Jupiter here in Aries. Now, Jupiter is he's been hanging around this +3, +4 mark for a really long time. He is doing okay, but he is starting to speed up. And I do feel that any of you that are working on like your personal brand or the identity of something, your own identity, the identity of your company or whatever it is, this is going to be a highly advantageous few months here. Okay, Jupiter is going to be in Aries until May 16th. So we're officially at the beginning of that transit now, and Jupiter is going to be going full speed. In 2022, when he came into Aries, he was kind of already slowing down as he was preparing for his retrograde. So this is really the first time we get him at full capacity here. So really think about who you want to be, because there is a lot of abundance that can be channeled through the essence of you, right? You are the attraction mechanism here. You are what pulls and draws things in, and you are what create massive opportunities. Okay, that's how it happens. It's through you being you. Through using your physical body. Don't be afraid to work hard right now, right? It's Capricorn season. Don't be afraid to work hard right now. Don't be afraid of the physical labor that is needed to do things. When I say physical labor, I don't necessarily mean you have to be like, actually using your physical body, but sometimes like sitting at your desk and sitting down and typing everything out, or sitting down and doing X, Y, or Z, that could be considered physical labor, right? You have to use your physical body as a vessel through which to channel these inspired notions or these inspired ideas. Understand that your body is really, really, really important right now. You have to be able to get your body to do what you need it to do. If you're struggling with your physical health, this is a really advantageous time for you to be able to learn new things that can help you. Remember, this is something that I had to learn over the past couple of years. My physical health is not the doctor's responsibility, right? It's my responsibility. And so when you take on that responsibility for learning absolutely everything you can, right? Jupiter is all about the expansion of mind and expanding your mind regarding your physical body. There can be massive strides made for you with your health. For those of you who are struggling there, right? I always have to throw that in there now, because now I have firsthand experience with that. So I understand how important it really is. And to get your energy levels up, if you're struggling with your energy levels, okay? Energy is the number one asset that we need as human beings to build and do anything. So if you're struggling with your energy levels, again, Jupiter can help guide you to the right places and the right people and the right information to help you to make those changes. And when Mars goes direct on the 12th, we're going to have that opportunity to truly start implementing everything. I do really like just the overall astrological environment over the next couple of weeks. I really do. I don't mind a Mercury retrograde in Capricorn so much, because again, there's a lot of truth that comes through here. There's a lot of harsh realities. And if you've been putting anything off, you're not going to really be allowed to. Mercury is not going to be able to like get around, right? He's not going to be able to hide behind the dark corners, because Saturn is kind of that all-encompassing, like Lord of the Night type of thing. And so he can't hide. There is no dark corner that Saturn hasn't already created himself. So we have to really address a lot, and we have to live in that truth. We have to live in that truth, but it is all for the sake of our ultimate success. This is one of the reasons why shadow work is very hard for people, because the truth really is painful sometimes. And anyone who has done shadow work knows how painful it can be. You know how it can spiral out of control if you're not careful. And so I know that a lot of people right now are going to be in avoidance of things too, but the more in avoidance they are, the more of a mass system shutdown it's going to be. Did I say this already at the beginning? I don't remember if I said this already, but I know that Southwest canceled like tons and tons of flights. And one of the reasons was they needed to upgrade their system. Like, could you imagine having a system that was so outdated that you kept putting off because there was no good time to cancel the business, that you ultimately got to a point where you were forced to do it because the whole thing shut down, and during the holidays you had to cancel all the flights so you could update your system. Like, you're not going to be able to put things off like that, right? The important stuff is going to really show up for you. But if you tackle it, you grab onto it, you deal with it, you have the conversations, you invest in it, whatever it is. It's like a car problem. Like, if you hear something weird with your car, don't put it off. Just take it into the shop no matter what the cost. Because if you wait, the cost later is going to be way, way, way worse. Okay? So you just have to go with it. Okay. All right. So we also have this moon. Now, if you're feeling a little bit tired today, this moon may have a little bit to do with it, as it's been coming into this conjunction with Neptune over here in Pisces yesterday and today. Often a Pisces moon does require a great deal of rest, but tomorrow, as the moon moves into Aries, I think you will feel much more rejuvenated, and you'll feel a lot more energized, more energetic, and you'll be more willing to go to make things happen, which is going to be a nice complement to the other astrological placements. Okay? All right, you guys, I'm going to leave you guys with that. Thank you so much. I hope you had an amazing holiday. Happy New Year to each and every one of you, and I will talk to you very soon. Take care.